Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. Race number 11 at Pimlico on Preakness Saturday is the $100,000 The Very One Stakes for filly and mare turf sprinters. You can bet it with a DRF Bets account. It's very easy to sign up. Just go to drf.com/bet and you can bet the Preakness with free cash and a $100 deposit match bonus. Let's take a look at this full field of fillies and mares getting set to go 5 furlongs on the turf, carded as race number 11. Mike, the number 11 Smiling Causeway showed off a new dimension last time out in the Lightning City Stakes at Tampa Bay for Arnaud de la Cour. This is a filly that had showed big speed previously. Last time out, she set off the pace. Yeah. She saved ground. She got a great ride from Daniel Santana, and she pounded that field late. We haven't seen her in a while, though. Does that bother you? Yeah,
I'm not going to worry about the layoff. We'll see if it winds up affecting her. I don't really care about that. I know there are different ways to look at this. I'm happy to call her the horse to beat here. I mean, I like all of her turf sprints. As you point out, she had a lot of speed at the beginning of her career. And last time, it's not like, you know, she had trouble at the start or something and wound up off the pace. They just sort of took her off it. I like the way that she finished up in that race. It showed her that she could do it from another way aside from having the lead in her races. And I think it makes her even more dangerous in this race. I think she's the horse to beat in here.
She has looked so good in some of her races, and Arnaud de la Cour always dangerous with these kind of horses. The one Chantelane is just solid on dirt, solid on turf. The last time we saw her on turf, she was a winner in a stakes race at the Fairgrounds where she prompted the pace on the outside, took over in the stretch, and then got a little bit goofy in the lane with her lead changes, but it was a solid enough performance and a career best buyer. But boy, she's under the gun from the wood.
Yeah, she is. There's a lot of speed, it feels like, to her outside in this race. She did sit off it a little bit last time, but basically she just got a perfect trip last time to get it done. She actually ran well in the turf sprint prior to that at Keeneland. She totally missed the break in that race, but she was running at the end. I thought that was an okay performance. Her dirt form to me is fine. I wonder if she just might turn out to be a little bit better on the grass.
Turf speed right next door. That's the 2 Victorious Fire. As we take a look at the Timeform US Pace Projector, they got Victorious Fire out there on the lead. This is going to be her turf debut. She's done well on dirt. She's done well on synthetic. Heck, she's won 11 for 27. Does the dirt speed necessarily translate to turf?
It doesn't. You always have to worry if these horses are going to be able to bring their speed over to a new surface. In her case, she's fast on the dirt. She's fast on the synthetic. I'm going to assume that she's fast on the turf too, and then we'll just see if she can run her best race on this surface.
Pretty Perfection has always been solid. She's won 1/3 of her 24 lifetime starts, but it seems like she's kind of lost her speed in her last few races. Do you think that's a sign that maybe at the age of 6 she's seen better days? Because on her best day, she'd be competitive with these kind of horses.
Yeah, she's got races from, you know, a year ago and prior to that would make her really tough in here, but her form lately hasn't been up to that level. Her last 2 turf starts don't really do anything at all for me. She's just going to have to find a way to turn it around in here. I couldn't talk myself into her. I just feel like she's headed the wrong way.
Morning line favorites, the 7, Girls Know Best, 3-1 for Javier Castellano. We have a positive formulator fact for her trainer, Eddie Keneally. Girls Know Best last time out just went right to the front over yielding going, made the easiest of leads, and then pounded that field. It's going to be tougher this time around from a pace perspective, but it's nice to know she can do it on some yielding turf. And Keneally has done well with last out winners going second off the bench on the turf.
Yeah, I like that her last race came over yielding ground because it just sort of maybe takes a little bit of something out of the equation for her. But I got to be honest, I'm going to be surprised if she can run another 101 in this race.
Fair.
I mean, her turf races prior to that, you know, they're okay. She won a stakes race at Gulfstream, but I think it's worth pointing out that she was never going to win that race if Blue Bahi, the favorite, didn't take a bad step. She was going right by this horse in the stretch. She took a bad step and had to pull up, and it just sort of left her all alone on the lead, and she managed to get it done. Other than that, you know, turf races, they don't make her, let's put it this way, they don't make her the favorite in this race.
Your argument is the last race was either a ground-aided or pace-aided situation.
Yeah, maybe she just really liked the soft turf, and if that's the case, then she's going to be tough on Saturday. But, I mean, she basically walked on the lead in there. There was never any point in that race where anybody even took any kind of a run at her. She just breezed around the track, and she ran this big figure. If she's going to be the favorite here, I want to see her do it again.
You talk about turf sprinters. You talk about the Jason Service barn. The number 12 Just Talkin' was able to get to the lead last time out at Gulfstream Park, and she was a very easy winner, as she was supposed to be. She was 1-2 that day, but it's nice to see a slight buyer progression with every start. And we have a Service formulator fact. He's just phenomenal with these kind of horses. Past 5 years, last out winning turf sprinters sprinters off a 45 to 60 day layoff. He's winning 11 of 26 with a $3.70 ROI. His outside post can be a little bit tricky, but this is a filly that doesn't need the lead.
Yeah, I would be positive on her in this race because of that. I don't think she needs the lead. There's a lot of speed to her inside. And she actually ran well when she was behind Girl Knows Best in that Gulfstream race, because she set a good trip for the most part, but she did have to get around. Once Blue Bahia went wrong in the stretch, she had to sort of get around that horse, and then she made up ground at the end to be second. I thought she ran fine. She's one of the major contenders to me.
Daylight Ahead is getting back to turf, and while she has had some success on the dirt in the past, I wonder if turf is where her future is ultimately going to lie. Her last competitive races have really come on the turf, and we do have a formulator fact, which we'll show after we scroll through this field. What I like about Daylight Ahead is, again, she's got a little bit of tactical speed. This is a barn that has done well with this move in the past, dirt to turf. I'm just not exactly sure she's stakes class. Dirt to turf sprints off, what, 4 to 6 month layoffs? That's a good number.
Yeah, really good number. I agree with you. I have the same concerns that maybe she will find this kind of company a little too tough. She's a stakes winner sprinting on the grass, but that was against Maryland breds. And this just feels like it's a much tougher race for her. But I'm with you. I think she's a better turf horse.
Miss Gossip really took the worst end of it from a post position standpoint. Post 14, this is a horse removing blinkers for Carlos Martin. Again, this is a filly that has done some good things in the past, but I think the only way she can win this race is just kind of drop back and hope for the best. And in 5 furlong races, does that really ever work?
Yeah, it's going to be hard for her. I mean, she's going to need every bit of this speed in this race to show up and set this race up for her. And then she's going to need a trip from post 14.
Jessica Krupnik shipped up to Woodbine last time out to compete on a synthetic surface for the first time, and she was far from embarrassed at 17 to 1. I wonder if that's going to successfully translate to turf, because you know something? These Uncle Mo's seemingly can do anything, and she's got some speed.
Yeah, they can run on any surface. That was a good field she was in the Whimsical last time. She ran a nice race there. If she can bring that race over to turf in this spot, she's got a chance at a really big price.
Formulator fact for the 4, Anna's Bandit, a horse that's just been absolutely on a roll. She's won her last 4 races, 2 of them stakes, but on dirt. We see trainer John Robb over the past 5 years moving from dirt to turf. It hasn't been a successful move.
No, we'll see if this horse can overcome it, because you're right, a recent form on the main track is really good. I do like the Great Notions on turf, so maybe this horse will handle it. Another horse going to be a big price in here.
Angel at War is another horse with a little bit of turf pedigree as well. She began her career with 6 consecutive victories. They're going to try turf with her, and this is a barn. Michael Gorham, again, hasn't had a lot of success, as we see with this formulator fact for Angel at War. 1 for 39 over the past 3 years with older horses, dirt to turf. I like her tactical speed.
I do too. Started out cheap, worked her way up in class, was competitive in stakes races on the dirt most recently, and now we'll try some turf.
Keep Your Distance might prove a very sharp claim for Michael Trombetta. This horse just showed big speed last time out and never gave those horses a chance. She's not the greatest gate horse in the world, but she is fast once she gets going. But again, it's a situation of, is she really stakes fast?
Yeah, I don't think that she is, but it's a very interesting. That's a very sharp trainer that claimed her out of a nice performance last time.
Let's talk a little bit about the 10 Carolina Shag, because I think she's got a big chance and a big price. I thought she ran so well last year in the Caress Stakes. I know she was 42 to 1, but that was a race that had a little bit of cut and ground. She actually made the front and mid-stretch and looked like she was going to win it. And Miss Ellen Fairpoint are 2 nice sprinters that took her down late. This horse always gets ignored because of low-profile connections. Last time out, I think she was just too keyed up with the blinkers, and the blinkers come off.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I'm glad the blinkers are off. The problem with her, she's run some really good races, and I'm with you. At a big price, you could do worse than just taking a shot and hoping she gets back to one of her good races, because one of her good races is going to give her a real chance in here. Her form has just dropped off so badly in her recent races. It worries me about her, but there's been a little bit of a layoff, and now she's coming back. Maybe she needed a little bit of time.
Let's take a look at our top selections. What a wide open race this is, and we talked about Jason Service excelling with turf sprinters. Alan Goldberg over the years has done very, very well, and he's bringing Booz back off a little bit of a layoff. I think Booz was just in a little bit too tough against Rubelinda last time out, but I like the run she put in 2 starts back going 5 furlongs.
Yeah, that's why I took her in this race. First of all, she was a sprinter over in France before she got here. Those were all of her best races, going shorter distances. Her first start in this country they went 7 furlongs with it. I know 7 furlongs is technically a sprint.
It's too far.
Those 7 furlong turf races at Belmont don't really play to true sprinters. I think it just put her way up against it. I really liked her win it. I know it was an allowance race. It wasn't against these kinds of horses.
But Sylphide's a good horse.
Yeah, Sylphide's okay. And I love the way this horse came and got her in the stretch. I liked that run for her. And then they just tried a tougher spot against Rubelinda. Smiling Causeway was in that race too. She ran in that race, just couldn't really get involved with those horses. This is a better spot. She has to be ready off the layoff. She has to get a little bit faster, but there's pace in this race. She won't be on or near the lead in here. She can get something to run at in here. I'm hoping that Goldwater has ready to step forward.
I'm very concerned because you're sharp and you took such a negative take on the 7 Girls Know Best, my top pick in this race, and I think you make some very valid points. My kind of argument is, yes, it was the pace last time out, but it also was the ground.
Yeah.
And she's going to get similar ground here, and I don't think she's a need the lead type. It's not like the Timeform US had that red bar. It's going to be this blazing electric pace. Girls Know Best at 3-1 might be an underlay. I'm looking at this race as kind of a multiple race spread. A horse I want to use is that Carolina Shag, and I know that she's in, off her form at least, but I'm willing to give her a chance if the pace is solid. She's 20-1 and will be that price at post time. You're going 8, 11, 1, 7. I'm going 7, 11, 12, and 10. Probably use all 4 in the multis. Interested a little bit in that Carolina Shag. Race number 11 is the Very One Stakes at Pimlico on Preakness Saturday. You can bet it with a DRF Bets account. Free cash waiting for you. $100 deposit match bonus. DRF.com/bet. Bet the Preakness with free cash. Approximate post time for the Very One, 4:42 Eastern. Best of luck.